Hey guys, welcome back to Vertical Momentum. I'm your host, Richard Kaufman, also known as the Comeback Coach. Guys, make sure you subscribe and hit notifications because this episode is going to knock your socks off. You're going to want to save it and share it out and listen to it twice, maybe three times, because this gentleman that I have on has an amazing person. His TEDx speech, I've listened to it three times. I'm probably going to listen to it four times, but he's a business coach, speaker, TEDx. He does it all. He's a Swiss Army knife of funnels. So, Akbar, my brother, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me, man. I like that commercial too. It's done well.
Yeah, I have some great friends, and they did me good. So talk to us a little bit about, because you've been in the game a little while, and in the last 2-3 years, the game has changed. Not only in business, where you could just at one time just put up a website, people are going to go to it, and you're going to make money. It's not that way anymore.
Yeah.
So everything changed. So, but before we get started, what is your definition of resiliency?
It's a poetic thing, really. I mean, the reality is it's a really beautiful thing if one really sits and ponders and thinks about it. But the reality is, it's, in my experience, it's impossible not to succeed if you don't give up. Meaning, if you're resilient, because I'll tell you some more facts. You're going to fail. You're going to have, I mean, even at my level, we have marketing campaigns that fail. You're going to have bad salespeople. You're going to have people steal from you. You're going to have people rip you off. You're going to have nightmare clients. You're going to have paid marketing that's going to flop. You're going to have organic marketing that's going to flop. You're going to have websites or funnels that are not going to convert. You're going to have bad mindset. You're going to have an offer that doesn't convert. You're going to have your systems break. I mean, this is not maybe. This is in fact a guarantee. And I think people really need to understand that it's an absolute guarantee that everything that can go wrong will in fact go wrong. And it takes that resilience to have that thick skin, to understand that, to look forward to that, if you really want to talk on an advanced level, because failure is nothing but data. And in fact, failure data is needed to succeed. I'll give you an example. I had a mastermind years ago. I still have one. But years ago, a couple of clients left. And they told me, man, Akbar, you're a cool guy. We like you and everything. But honestly, we feel like this mastermind doesn't have enough support. And when they said that to me, it was a failure. They left. I lost a lot of money. And it was a kick I felt like I got punched in the throat and in the gut at the same time. And it was a failure. And I could have just closed my mastermind, which a lot of people do. An event happened. And now it kind of defines you as a person, how you react. You cannot control what happens, but you can control how you react to that. So a lot of people fold shop. They're not resilient. They go out of business. They get a job, whatever. Me, on the other hand, what I've trained myself to do, because I used to give up for most of my life, like most people, I took that failure data. I was like, oh, okay, you want more support? Okay, watch this. I doubled the support of my mastermind, doubled it. More coaches, more time, more Q&As, more everything. Churn rate went low. People stayed longer. People were happier. It was more fun. The whole thing changed because I was resilient, because I took the failure data and used it to make my product better, my system better. And that's what's needed, essential, required to run a successful business. If you don't have thick skin, if you're not resilient, if you're the kind who gets punched in the face and you fall down and you're just like, I'm done, then business is just not for you. I'm just going to tell you very straightforwardly, or not yet anyway. I mean, I was like that for many years, and that's why I never had any success. But, take a look at crypto, for example. I mean, I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in crypto. Most people did, I think 99%. And the vast majority of them give up. I'm done, joke, never again, can't deal with it. No, well, they're not going to be able to cash in on what I believe to be an unbelievable opportunity when this thing bottoms out a little bit more. But the point of the matter is the people who make it are the ones who tough it out. I mean, you have two choices: survive or die. You know, and really, it's just nothing more than a choice in my experience.
And, you know, that's something that I love to talk about, you know, especially because I was in sales for over 30 years. I always love to talk about, you know, people's closing percentages and stuff like that. And somebody once said to me, you know, if there's a guy that's out there and he's only closing 6 out of 10, is he a winner or is he a loser? And a lot of people say, oh, wait, so they're failing for almost half of the time? Yeah, they
Right.
must be a loser. It's like, well, do you realize that both of the shooting guards on the Golden State Warriors are only shooting 40%? That means they're
Right.
missing 6 out of every 10 shots.
Yeah.
But 2 of them are going to the Hall of Fame one day. So
Exactly.
sometimes you get wrapped around these numbers, but you don't realize sometimes you have to fail forward to succeed.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, you're talking about, you know, Michael Jordan. You know, I think the statistic is no one's ever missed more shots than Michael Jordan,
Yep.
right? But he's the greatest because he didn't give up, because he kept playing. I mean, I think baseball, the number is not 60%, but I believe you have a Hall of Fame career if your batting average is 300, which means that you're hitting 1 out of 3 times, which means you're missing more than you're hitting, which
Yeah.
means you're striking out or whatever more than you're hitting. So, I mean, that's a profound thing for people to think about. That's a Hall of Fame career if you miss more than you make, as long as you stay in the game.
Yeah. All right. So now, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Give a little background, because obviously you were not always the smart dude that you are today. You had to come from somewhere. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm not that smart. I am very creative. I will say that, but I'm not that smart. I joke that I'm a funny looking, technologically illiterate brown guy with a name nobody can spell or pronounce. I am completely tech illiterate. But a little bit about me. Look, I'm a business coach. You know, I help online businesses make more to give more to their families, communities, and favorite charities, hence making the world a better place. Our clients have made well over 50 million. We've handed out a ton of trophies, over 50 trophies to our clients. And we do it in a very holistic coaching manner, where we coach you on every aspect of your business and hold your hand through and through. So, I mean, in a nutshell, that's what we do, and that's why we do it.
But where'd you come from, and where? Obviously, you had to learn from somewhere. It didn't
Oh
just.
yeah, sorry, I forgot. I forgot that part of it. Yeah, no, dude, I was a total. You know, I can talk very freely about myself, but you know, I was a complete bum. Listen, overweight, 50, 60 pounds overweight, many addiction problems, married to the devil, crippling anxiety disorder. You know, broke, lost, confused, did all sorts of, you know, random things, selling things on eBay, selling knives door to door with Cutco, you know, all types of crap. And, you know, I kept failing and failing and failing. I was kind of a party animal, nut job kind of guy, and still a nut job, just not a party animal. But, you know, that lifestyle ended up in the hospital, half dead, and God saved me. So I took advantage of that. I immediately, you know, let go of all my bad habits. I went organic, lost 50 pounds, got rid of my crippling anxiety disorder, started praying, you know, discovered a why, got out of all my toxic relationships, left all my toxic friends. And then once I did that, man, once I cleaned my house, so to speak, success kind of came overnight, you know, in the sense that, well, it took 10 years to do that. But once I cleaned house and did all those things I just mentioned and rebooted myself, including my mindset, yeah, man, things just kind of took off. My mentors, you know, you talk about Russell Brunson, Sam Ovens. I got my start with network marketing. I was very lucky. One of the top earners there was my mentor. And so, yeah, I've you know, learned from these people, and have been able to do some pretty fun things with what I've learned.
And you know, one thing I got to say is Russell's great dude. Another man of God. So that's what I love about him. And if it wasn't for his book series, I would never even know what the hell a funnel was. So for
Yeah.
people watching that are low tech rednecks like myself, what is the difference between a website and a funnel?
You know, you'll get a lot of different answers on that, I think. depending on who you ask. I'll give you there's many different ways to answer that, but I'll give you the most simplistic answer I think I can. View a funnel as simply a type of website that's geared to sell something, whether it's a product or service. I think that's the simplest way I can put it.
Now, I took a class, an eight-week class on digital marketing, and I learned how got my own funnel and all that good stuff. But I really didn't get what a funnel was until me and my wife went out for dinner one night. She saw something cool on Facebook, and she went through the whole process right in front of me and ordered something right there on Facebook. And I told her, I said, honey, you see what you just did? That's what I've been learning for the last 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So, I think it's really cool when you see somebody else going through the process and you're watching them, and that's something that you're actually learning. So talk to us a little bit about what a funnel is.
Well, really, look, I mean, take a look at my funnel, for example. A traditional website is more information based. For example, you go look at a company and you'll just get, vomited all over on with like, here's who we are, here's our story, here's what we think about, here's our history, like all this, information overload. Where a funnel is a series of, web pages designed to monetize each viewer. So there's different stages depending on what funnel you have. Like I have a simple, what's called we'll call it a movie trailer funnel. So the first page of that funnel is like, hey, this is what that movie trailer is about. If you like it, give me your name and email address, and then I'll show you. There's an exchange. Then you give in the tech term for that, that's called an opt-in page. And once you go through the opt-in page, you see the movie trailer. Now, the technical term for movie trailer is VSL, which stands for Video Sales Letter. And it's simply like a mini webinar. It's a video of me talking about who I am, what I'm about, what I've done, what's the problem, here's my solution, here's how you could take the next step. It's very much direct marketing. It's not necessary, or at least the way I do business, it's not a very long tail form of marketing in the sense that it's not like I need 100 touches to sell you something. I'm trying to sell people the first day they meet me. And oftentimes we do. So funnel is it's a tour guide. Consider a funnel being your tour guide to what I'm about and what I offer and how I can help you and how you can work with it.
And so like and I'm a big ClickFunnels guy, and I'm not getting paid to say this, so I love ClickFunnels. It works for me. I don't have anything to sell you either, but I had to do it. There was a couple funnels that I had, and one seems to outpace all the other ones. And the reason was because I put emotion into it. It wasn't just, this. It was actually, it made people feel something. It touched something. It's inside. And now it's blowing up right now. So talk to us, because, a lot of people think, well, okay, instead of doing a website, I'm going to put a funnel out there. But if it doesn't attract you, it doesn't get you emotional, you're not going to buy. You know what I mean? So I think emotion is probably one of the biggest things you can actually put into your funnels.
It's not breaking news in the sense that stories sell. I mean, pick up any one of the holy books, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah. It's chock full of stories, and it's selling faith. Everything is story, movies, books, faith. It's all story based, or that's one of the top ways to sell anyway.
All right. So before we get to hop any further, I want to talk about, I want to thank our sponsors. But guys, my book, A Hero's Journey from Darkness to Light, is sold out nationwide. It's at all the bookstores. It's gone. You can't get it. So you can only find it on Amazon right now. So there, all because of this article. It's called A Hero's Journey from Darkness to Light. And if you pick up the Kindle edition, 100% of the proceeds go to help people struggling with PTSD and depression and homelessness. So it's all about paying it forward. And then also, if you guys want to start your own show, StreamYard will actually throw you some cash to actually start your own show. So if you guys want to start your own show, just write StreamYard down below. But now, let me ask you a question, because, there's a difference between having a funnel and then having a 2 comma club funnel. There's a difference. And I think one thing that Russell talks about a lot is, don't have 50 different funnels. Make sure you have the one funnel that makes you $1 million, and then figure out something down the road. So talk about that, how you didn't just, you focus a lot on that one funnel that actually made 2 commas.
I have shiny object syndrome as much as the next guy, maybe a little less, but I didn't tell you this part of the story. I used to live in an electrical closet in San Francisco Bay Area with no hot water, no showers, no windows. I come from a very humble start and bootstrap the whole thing. My funnel structure, for the most part, has been the same since day one, since I was living in an electrical closet when I launched it. And that got me out of the electrical closet and allowed me to get married and start a family. And we, moved to Dallas and, got a house and a car and living a life. But my funnel structure has been the same, dude. Headline, video, what's called a CTA, which is a call to action, which means a button to book a call with me. There's a lot of things sure, I'd like to try out, like a book funnel, and there's all different types of funnel. I think there's I don't know, let's just say there's 20, for example. But there's a webinar funnel, VSL funnel, book funnel, freebie funnel, this tripwire funnel, SLO, da 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 da. Listen, there's 2 things you need to make 7 figures or to have success: a plan and the resources to implement that plan. Resources meaning the money and the time. Time is a lot more scarce than money, for sure. Money, they just print it. Look, I have 3 kids, man. Okay. I got a wife, I got 3 kids. I got a lot going on. I got a big family. I don't have all this time in the world to try a million things. You know what I mean? So I highly recommend to pick the kind you like and just be resilient and keep pushing it, man. They all convert. It's just a matter of you being resilient about it and picking the one you like. So that's what, believe it or not. I've done millions in the space, and I've primarily really just had, 1 or 2 types of funnels, and they're both pretty much the same.
But now, one thing, because I'm taking a very deep dive into copyright. And a lot of people don't realize how important your headline is.
Yeah.
But I tell them, anytime you go to the checkout, look at all People Magazine, look at all these things, look at all the things that pop. It's usually only 6 to 8 words, but they make sure that you're going to draw your attention. And I think a lot of people are more worried about what's inside the funnel than what's actually going to get people to look at the funnel.
Yeah. Listen, less is more, man. First of all, you got to understand something about copywriting. Copywriting is an art form. It's not like somebody can just wake up and write copy. It's not like that. You can't do that. Whoever's telling you the opposite is just trying to sell you something, like some sort of copy automation or something. But the reality is that you have to study. If you're going to do you have a couple options. If you're going to do your own copy, number 1, you better naturally be super talented. Or 2, you better have studied copy a hell of a lot. And I mean a hell of a lot. Or 2, you do what you do best and outsource the rest, man. You hire a copywriter. You hire a good copywriter. Proven good copywriter. And I've done that in the past, and I've enjoyed that. And sometimes I'll pay someone just to do copy with me, just to jam with me. But I think a big mistake people make is when they try to launch a business, they try to do everything themselves. They wear all the hats, which is really absurd. So they try to do the sales, they try to do the tech, they try to do the copy, they try to do the design, they try to do the systems, they try to do automation, they try to do it all. And it's absurd because each one of those things I just mentioned is a very particular art form that takes a while to master. So now when people hear that, I hope they're not discouraged, because in fact, it's good news. Because I don't want anyone thinking, oh, well, gosh, yeah, well, I'm not that good at sales, or I'm not that good at copy, or not. Doesn't matter. Do what you do best, outsource the rest. I used to do all my own sales calls, and then I burnt out from it. I don't do any sales calls. You have salespeople do it. I don't know any tech. I'm tech illiterate. I have a tech guy who does my tech. So don't worry. If you're gonna do it, look, it's annoying when I see people try to do everything themselves, in the sense that it's like me going to Home Depot. It's like me buying a piece of land and going to Home Depot and buying plumbing and electric and roofing and sheetrocking and studding and foundations and this and that, and getting it delivered to this piece of land, and me trying to build a house. I'm not a roofer. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a plumber. I'm not a sheetrocker. I'm not a painter. I'm not a foundation specialist. I'm not going to pretend to be one on TV, because what's going to end up happening is that this house is going to end up killing me, because it's going to fall apart when I'm in there. And that's what happens to people's businesses. It ends up dying because they tried to do these. You have to stay in your lane. You're good at something. Stick to that. Outsource everything else. I mean, this is one of the best things I can tell you.
Yeah, even that's even like something my friend Gary Vaynerchuk talks about all the time. He says, triple down on what you're good at. Fuck the rest. Find, hire somebody, because I always tell my wife, you don't know what you don't know, so hire somebody that does know. But like for me, my friend said, listen, I want you to build your first funnel. I want you to experience it. I want you to know what it is. So next time you do hire somebody, you can be like, nah, this is the way I want it. This is the way I want it. Because I think a lot of people take it to the other extreme. They do one good thing and then they hire a team, but don't know what the team is doing behind their back, because they've never been around it. So they don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah. And these days, you can do all this stuff pretty cost affordably too. We are at that stage now with supply and demand, basic economics, where before it was a little pricier, but now it's actually become a lot more affordable.
Yeah, and then you get a lot of people like the young lady that I use. She does all my YouTube stuff. I mean, she comes from I think from the Philippines, and so there's a lot of people that are whether it's Upwork or one of the other ones that are willing to help you out. You just got to put in a little legwork and tell them, this is what I need. And you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to do a little behind the scenes work.
Yeah, no, listen, you got to understand something. If you got a job, all right, and you work at, I don't know, you work at Walmart, all right, you're the cashier. I'm just going to use just a basic example. You got to serve whoever's coming to that, whoever's standing in that line. You have to be nice to them. You have to put up with them. You have to serve them, even if you don't want to. There might be a person like, oh man, this guy's a nightmare. They're rude. They keep complaining. You have to sit there and listen. That's a 9 to 5. You do not have to do that in your own business. Your own business is your own rules. Set your business up so you enjoy it and you like what you do. Otherwise, you're just going to be miserable. So people enjoy things they like doing. People enjoy things they're good at.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, just stick to that, because whatever, if you don't, you're just gonna have heartache, man.
All right. So now, like, I took this 8-week course because I thought it was bullshit, and I was going to prove them wrong, that this whole digital marketing thing is just a fad. So I started I did the funnel, and my dad passed away on Valentine's Day.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was out of the loop. I was away from home for 2 weeks, but I was still having money coming in.
Yeah.
I'm still making money from the books, from the t-shirts, from the hats, because the store never closes when you have an evergreen product. So talk to us about, the new business landscape in 2022 with this little thing we call a phone or a computer.
Well, listen, man, it's just the next natural progression. I mean, one of the first business transactions ever recorded was thousands of years ago off the coast of Fiji, where they were trading volcanic glass. Business was traditionally done in what's today modernly known as flea markets, which back then was known as markets.
Yeah.
Just put up tables on land and with a canopy and sold fruits and nuts and product, shoes, leather, so on and so forth. Then, and this is not in any sequential order, but then, ships were made. People started conducting business via sea. Then trains were invented, and then they started doing ships with train, and then trucks were invented, and then mail was invented. So people started doing business via mail. Then brick and mortar retail stores came about, and people started conducting business in retail stores. And then the next thing after retail stores has been the internet. But what's important to know is that it's simply the environment. Business has been conducted the same way since the beginning of time. It's just that the environment in which the business is practiced has changed. And so I'll give you an example. You talk about copy. You go to a website right now, you go read some copy, like a sales page, like you go read just some, their sales language. For those old enough to remember, I am at least, in our snail mail, the mail that comes to your house, people selling product that have warehouses or whatever, they would mail you a sales letter. But hey, this shoe is the best shoe in the world, and are your feet sore? And this, oh my God, this shoe is proven to cure all foot soreness, blah, blah, blah. If you take a look at that letter before the internet was around, and you hold it like this, and then you go to a computer and you go to like a shoe website, you read that copy of a sales page, it's the same thing, the same psychology, the same sales techniques. It's the same thing. One is physical, one's digital. It's the same as cryptocurrency, right? I mean, there's physical money and then there's digital money. So that's all it is. But business practice, and this is the part I think people don't understand, is that business practices have always been the same. You've always had to be resilient. When you owned a ship and you were shipping cargo, and there was a big storm and you lost all your cargo, you had to be resilient. Okay, doing a digital event and nobody shows up, you got to be resilient. So it's the same. Business is business. And I think the problem is you got a lot of, people coming online who think that it's not. They think it's some sort of lottery ticket, because you got to understand when the photo camera came out first, historically speaking, you can look it up. People would go like this. When somebody pointed a camera at that, they put their fingers in the shape of a cross, and they started hissing because they thought that that it took a part of your soul, because the technology was so new. Now everyone and their mother has a phone tied to their face. So historically speaking, the internet is brand new technology. It didn't get popular until 12 years ago, which is when the iPhone became popular. So you're talking about a brand new industry, and with a brand new industry comes a lot of misconceptions, and that's what's happening here.
Okay, so now, but also, like I said, I was with GNC for almost 30 years.
Wow.
It was all about building relationships. People want to come back and talk to me because they knew that I wasn't just trying to sell them a product. I was trying to make their life better. And because I'd rather build a generational relationship than just hit it and quit it. But I think now the same thing I think it's even more important in the digital world, that we start building relationships instead of just having that hit it and quit it, especially because of social media. You know what I mean? So talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's a beautiful relationship because it's a hell of a lot easier than like a marriage or something like that. I'll tell you that, because you choose the way you want to participate in this relationship, right? Like, for example, if I just want to break from my wife and kids, I'm like, I'm just going to go take off for 3 days. I can't really do that. Okay. But with digital relationships, you design. That's one of my favorite parts about business, is that you design everything. You design the kind of relationship you want. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not a big relationship guy. I'm more of an impact guy. So our stuff happens to be like, our coaching happens to be the best in the marketplace, I feel. So when people join me, I'm not, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I'm not here to be anyone's like best friend or anything. When you get my coaching, you get my systems. My systems are the best. You get all that. I don't, we don't need to be friends. And I say that because it works both ways. You can there's coaches out there who are best friends with their clients, and that works because that's what they want. And then there's very successful people out there that don't have any relationship at all with their customers, and they do very well as well. So my point is, you get to pick and choose how you want to run it, and what kind of relationship do you want. I think that's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, I love it. So now for the last couple of minutes, it's actually Halloween. I'm about to go take my daughter out for trick or treating.
Nice.
But so tell us, what do you think the next couple months? What's it going to be like in the world of the digital world in the next couple of months of 2022? What do you think is coming up on the horizon, especially now that Elon took over Twitter? Do you think that there's going to be a change to where people are actually going to be more open?
Man, I'll tell you this. It's probably not the answer you're looking for, but I'm going to tell it to you. I don't, there's so much I don't know. I don't really follow a lot of trends and things like that because I never think about, I'm not a futurist in the sense where, like I said, I've been doing the same freaking thing for the past years. Little things change. You always, like when you get a ton of competition, you have to make your offer a little bit better or tweak it or something, but structurally it's been the same. So I think it's a dangerous thing. If you want my honest opinion, I think it's a dangerous thing to really think about that stuff too much because the fundamentals work and the fundamentals have worked for a very long time. I honestly say stick to the fundamentals. I see people who jump ship really quickly. They see an opportunity coming. Okay, there's an opportunity. I'm going to jump ship and cash in on that fad, right? Like, for example, there was this app Clubhouse and it was huge and I never got involved. And it was huge and it died. And people like, oh, I'm going to do a Clubhouse course and Clubhouse is everything. I'm going to focus. It's honestly, there's a lot of shiny objects out there. My honest advice is put your head down, stick to the fundamentals and build a business and forget about the future. Forget about all the trends, stick to the fundamentals, problem, solution, story-based marketing, serving people at a high level. And you can't lose in my experience.
And that's one thing I love because I'm a big sports guy. I've been a sports guy forever. The basketball is my game.
Yeah, me too.
And, people like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and especially Tim Duncan from the San Antonio Spurs. His nickname was the Big Fundamental.
Yeah.
And because he did the little things perfectly. Yeah. And I think, like you're saying, a lot of people, Snapchat, and then it died. Clubhouse, then it died. So I think you have to, like you said, you have to be focused on one thing and become great at that one thing, and then the rest will happen.
That's all it takes.
I got a question for you now, because I can go on any social media platform and hit a funnel guy. There's so many people with funnels. There's so many people that were, for some reason, the crypto and NFT guys got real quiet all of a sudden. I don't hear from them anymore.
Yeah,
but so now there's so many different funnels. ClickFunnels. There's so many different funnel companies. Is there certain companies that are better? Are they all the same, or is it what you actually put out?
Yeah, it's a good question. I am ClickFunnels for life kind of guy. I'm first and foremost, ClickFunnels is I feel the best. Okay.
Me too.
But if I'm to be brutally honest, my loyalty for life, ClickFunnels, love ClickFunnels, go get ClickFunnels. The reality is it doesn't really, that's not true. I was going to say it doesn't really matter, but it does because, well, if you're looking at it as just a purist thing, a funnel is a funnel. It's not that much different from this company to the next. Okay. It's just not. However, the reason I love ClickFunnels so much is because of the environment. And to me, environment's huge. And, I went to another software company and they're great people. Um, and they're great people. Um, it wasn't necessarily my favorite crowd. They were a very techie crowd. I'm not a techie guy, so I wasn't very inspired in that environment. So the reason I like ClickFunnels so much is because it's a room of dreamers, and that's, and we're all dreamers, and it's a room of big dreams and big energy, and that's the energy I like, man. I
Yeah.
grew up on the East Coast, love going to New York because I love that vibe, that beat on the street, that we're gonna make it. We got big dreams, So bootstrapping, coming from nothing, you know. I like that kind of vibe. So you got to find your tribe. And if you like that, then ClickFunnels is definitely for you. And if you don't like that, then it's not really for you. So I think, from a technical point of view, I don't think it really matters, honestly, but it's not, they say love's not enough. Well, tech is not enough. You need, I think that community is an essential element.
And one thing I love about ClickFunnels is I can go on any time of the day and I can see up to the second analytics where I know where I'm crushing it and then where I'm falling off the cliff. And I can make that adjustment right
Yeah.
there. And I think with websites you can't really do that. I mean, you could see who's coming, but you're not seeing how long they're there or where you're losing them at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, listen, it's nice to be in control. You know what I mean? If you want to be, me personally, I used to do that when I first started, and now I kind of really, I don't look anymore really. But, you know, again, it's about designing your dream business. If you're the kind that enjoys checking a lot, which I did for a while, then great. And if you're the kind that doesn't really need to check, then great. You don't have to do that either. It all. My point is, it all works as long as you're resilient.
Okay, so now last couple questions. How Tell me exactly. Okay, my name is Richard Kaufman. I'm a brand new business owner. I'm coming to you. I want to make my podcast the best podcast in the world. What do you tell somebody that's just starting out and wants to sell the greatest widget, best podcast? What do you go about doing? What do you do with them?
What would be my advice for you to have the world's best podcast?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, if you get somebody that's saying, "Okay, I'm new to business, I don't know any of this stuff. What do I do?"
There's several things you need to do. Number one, have unique guests. Number two is that have unique conversations, and this is the part where I think people want deep conversations. So I think you have to do a lot of research per guest, and you're very lucky if you're trying to start a podcast, because I've been on a ton of, I have no idea, but how many I've been on, but I've been on a ton. I can tell you over the years, I've been on got countless podcasts. Okay. I can count on my hand how many of them were actually good. Because people they don't know what to ask. They ask very surface level questions. They don't go that deep. They're just not good communicators. So you want to study how to be a great communicator. You want to watch the top podcasts and study that, emulate that. That's for me the key thing as far as having a quality podcast is going very deep, and asking questions that all the other guys are not asking, and having very unique guests and having a unique theme. I would definitely have a unique theme where it's, for example, say we talk about how entrepreneurs balance family life, family and business. And that's it. That's the whole theme, that's not necessary, but I think that's a good thing. And then once you have a very quality podcast, well, honestly, a little bit of light marketing and it goes viral because, it's not like my wife, one of her favorite podcasts, or if not her favorite, is called Diary of a CEO. And she recommended it to me, and I was just like, damn, that it's high quality. And it's something now that, like, when we drive, we listen to, hey man, when we drive, we listen to it. And that's how it goes. Like, the first and foremost, before anything else, is just quality. If something's high quality, dude, the people just naturally just start telling everybody about it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, we've done millions organically. What does that mean? People keep talking, saying, well, that guy's really good. Oh, he helped me a lot. He helped me a lot. Go talk to him. You know what I mean? That's why so the first thing you want to worry about, your number one focus should just be quality. You want the best podcast, then be the best podcast.
Yeah.
The answer really comes down to that. You want the best podcast? Well, then be the best podcast.
So now, because I think we're like in the top 0.5% podcast in the world,
Nice.
because of guests like you.
Oh, thanks. Man.
So now, if I was going to say, okay, I want to take it to the nth level.
Yeah.
What do you do? What kind of funnel would you suggest for a person that has a podcast to get either get listeners or build up my mailing list? Or is that two different? I'll
tell you one thing that people don't do, like in your position, that I would recommend. Okay. You're in the top 0.05% of all podcasts. Okay. What rank are you in what category?
Business and entrepreneurship.
What number are you?
I think this morning it was like top 90. It was 90 to 94th, 94.
Yeah. So you're in the top 100 podcasts in the world, basically. Here's what I would do. You got to understand something with a podcast. It's a relationship. People like guests. They want to be on a top podcast because they get exposure.
Yeah.
You want interesting guests who've had some sort of success, who can give you quality content. So it's a cool relationship. Here's what I would do. Again, take a look at the formula. You have a high quality podcast. If people are listening, they go tell their family and friends about it. So what I would do if I was you is that make your podcast a little exclusive, in the sense where it's like, dude, I got a top podcast. You're going to get a lot of exposure. You want to be on it. It's mandatory to share this and get a contract. It's mandatory to share this podcast. Do XYZ, mail it out to your list, and you should be having talked to your guests who all have email lists of 10,000 of over, probably some much bigger. I mean, I can refer you a guy that has an email list of over 1 million people, or I know several people who have, or I know a good number of people who have email lists over 1 million. Send out an email to your audience, send out a Facebook post to your audience or Instagram or whatever. In other words, promote it. And they will, because that is promoting themselves as well. It's like, because, that's part of the cultivation process. And honestly, I've never seen anyone do that. And I think that's nuts. I think they're kind of just shy to do it or something, or that maybe they might have a little bit of imposter syndrome, or they think people might not do it. But I'm telling you, they will, because it works in their favor. So that's probably one of the best tips I can give you.
All right. So if a person's going to start a funnel, that's a podcaster, or would you do something that would promote the podcast or the email list? Which one do you think is more important?
I to build a podcast, I don't know. I've never had so we specialize in high ticket people who sell either coaching or consulting or have like some sort of agency. So I've never, off the top of my head, I don't think I've ever helped someone grow a podcast off the top of my head. I'm sure we have, but I just don't remember off the top of my head. So I don't necessarily know what kind of funnel you would use for that. But honestly, from a business point of view, I kind of wouldn't focus on that. I would really just focus on having very high quality, and insisting that all your guests share it with your audience. And I just think you'll scale massively just with that strategy.
I love it, brother. And like I said, I'm truly grateful that I have people like you, Robert Kiyosaki, David Meltzer. I'm just proud to be able to have guests like you come on. So now, if somebody's starting a new business and they're like, all right, I want to start crushing it, how do we find you? How do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, man. There's a couple of different ways. Number one, I got this really cool service, man. I don't know. I'm not trying to sell anything.
No, but that's what I want. I want them, that's why you're here.
Well, look, I mean, I'm the number one coach in the industry for entrepreneurs who want to make more to give more. And, we're priced accordingly. So there's a lot of people all over the world who want to work with me, they can't afford to. So I did develop a program that's for everybody, where I give them some of my best stuff in the community, where it's membership based. And that's actually only $99 a month. And you get some of my best funnel templates, best sales scripts, best offer templates. It's a real kind of starter kit, a real jump starter kit, my best traffic strategies for anyone kind of starting a business, wanting to grow their business. You get in a private kind of sort of like a WhatsApp group with me, where I give you kind of amazing nuggets every week. It's quite incredible value, and it's only $99 a month. So, I mean, if someone's interested in that, that's a great way to kind of get your feet wet and, kind of make your first, 5-6 figures. And that's just my website at akbarsheikh.com/CS, which stands for Coach's Secret.
Okay. Now you also have something coming up in the first week of November. What is that?
Yeah, man, I'm right here actually at the event center. I came here to do a sound check. This is happening November 9th in Dallas. It's an all-day event. I think we have some tickets left. They're $1. I'm just, I wasn't going to charge anything, but we have to, kind of for tracking purposes. Or I don't know if we have to. It's just the easier thing to do. But yeah, man, it's an all-day event where I'm just going to show you the framework on how we've been able to have a 7-figure coaching business and help our clients make more to give more. So anyone looking to start a business or looking to scale their business, whether they're a coach, consultant, agency, they'll be able to see the framework, the exact nuts and bolts, the exact offers, the exact marketing, the exact funnels, the exact systems and automations on how they can do that.
So then where's that going to be, and how do we get information on that?
Well, if you go to yeah, it's a good question. How the hell do you do that? If you go to, because we're so organic, we didn't even have like a proper funnel. We just have like a checkout page actually. So if you go to my Facebook profile, Akbar Sheikh, you'll see that I have an event posted, or just message me on Facebook, and my team will get you a link basically.
Yep. Or you can send it to me. I'll include it in the show notes.
Oh, there you go.
This way we can push. All right, bro. I'm so grateful that we got a chance to hang out today. I truly love what you do. Like I said, I loved your TED Talk. I think I'm going to listen to it for a fourth time. So keep crushing it. I love everything you're doing. So, guys, make sure you check him out on LinkedIn. He's got a great LinkedIn profile. Check out his Facebook. He's very, very you're able to get in touch with him very quick. He's not somebody that just ghosts you and you never hear from him again. So all right, brother. Well, thank you so much. And guys, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check Akbar out. And like my T-shirt says, today I decide. Guys, you make the decision today whether you want your business to be successful or a failure. It's all up to you. So you make the choice. And if you want to be successful, you want to make sure that Akbar is in your inner circle. All right, brother. Have an amazing week and have a happy Halloween with the kids.
You as well, man. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for having me, man. It's been a real honor. And if I can do anything to support you, please let me know.
Oh, you're awesome, brother. Have an amazing week, guys. Have a happy Halloween. Eat all the dark chocolate you can for me. All right. Bye, guys. Talk to you tomorrow.
Peace. Bye.